Are you looking for industry standard leading glass art, premier pipe manufacturers, or just quality merchandise? At Tobacco Leaf Gallery and Smoke Shop, they have it all. They're a friendly staffed and locally minded business that takes care of all your pipe hunting needs. Operated by smokers for smokers, Tobacco Leaf was founded in 2009 and continues to set the standard for what a functional glass gallery and smoke shop should be. Check out their site, www.tobaccoleafgalleryonline.com. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/WiseGuyRadio. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. That's at www.audibletrial.com, AUDIBLETRIAL.com/WiseGuyRadio. This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. We will be dissecting their journeys in hopes to deliver actionable content that you, the artist, can start implementing now, helping you grow not only as a creative spirit, but also a successful artistic entrepreneur. With a little organization, relationship building, and your artistic ability, you can obtain greatness. Climb aboard, whether an artist, retail owner, or enthusiast. We have a ton of fun in store for you. Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show, episode number 40. This is J. Michael, your host, and I am tired as hell tonight. Having been up since 5 a.m. this morning to get my babies off to school, and then in the shop all day working and getting stuff done and blah, blah, blah. So I'm happy to be here recording this with you guys. Episode number 40. It's a milestone show in a sense because almost a year ago now it's been since I started conjuring up thoughts about doing a podcast for all you glass lovers and glass artists and smoke shops. And here we are now at episode 40. So it's just kind of an idea and concept of putting your mind to something and making it happen and working your ass off to make sure that you can become successful and at whatever it is that you have conjured up in your head. And my conjuring was, man, what about having a podcast where I can listen to someone talk about glass blowing with glass artists, sharing their stories, their good tips and tricks and their fuck-ups and wounds and injuries and bad times and good times, and then talk about business and how to run a business and be successful at that, and then other areas of our lives like relational things with family and having kids and boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and wives and dogs and cats and fish and everything else. It's all kind of culminated into this now show called the Wise Guy Radio Show that has been one hell of an experiment for myself personally, learning how to run this board and the recording equipment and save things without erasing shows and getting to know all you guys out there and feedback. So a little long-winded there, but I just got to say thank you guys so much, seriously, from the bottom of my heart for all the reviews and responses and feedback, and just the fact that I just went over 8,000 downloads on this show. It's pretty amazing. It's makes me smile. Like, you guys have no idea. I wish I could really, explain to you. So tonight, I want to get into the concept and ideas of the customer experience and systemizing the customer experience. And ideally, the thought I'm thinking is basically that because, again, as I started off earlier in the show, because I have been so, I'm going to say honestly with you guys, I've been overwhelmed. I've had so much going on that it's had to make me sit down, and it honestly helped after listening to this frickin' audiobooks like we're doing. I mean, I'm right along with you guys learning stuff. But the last one that we just did was the E-Myth Revisited, and the whole book was all about systemizing and creating operation systems, basically, on how your business works. So my assistant Mike and myself sat down and came up with some concepts and ideas and categories on how we could actually do that and make it work. Ideally as if we were starting a brand new business that was a studio that you can come rent space from. We've set everything from rules and regulations, a safety plan, release liability waivers, all that stuff that we now have in an operations manual, everything, an emergency escape plan. So all this information that him and I have been compiling will be available at wiseguyradio.com very soon. I will announce when it is up and ready. It's just basically will be an empty template for you guys just to download, and then you can just fill in the blanks with all the information. If you're in this situation where you need this type of stuff, we're going to have it for you, and it's pretty much set up for in a generic sense for glass blowing studios. But still, that being said, even though we've begun this process, I'm still feeling that on my side, and it could be just me beating myself up. I don't know, but I feel like my customer service has really been slacking lately. The past since January, again, I've started taking on all kind of custom orders on top of other orders from my normal customers that I have, shops and distributors. And that was at the breaking point where I was like, man, fuck this. I need to get a distributor or get an assistant. So I brought an assistant on, which has been huge. I've been learning how to let things go and delegate certain things that I shouldn't be doing. But now I find that once I moved into this new studio space and took on this leadership role as basically studio head, manager, / owner in a sense, because I'm the name on the lease, that I had to now take on even more responsibilities from running a studio to making sure all of our gases are filled, everything on the ventilation systems, all that stuff. Like I had to coordinate all this stuff on top of keeping my orders filled, getting my kids from school back and forth, having family time with the wife and kids. I mean, everything has been fucking crazy. So I really sat down and I was like, man, what the fuck? And my customer service is also suffering because of this. Packages are not being shipped when I say they're going to be shipped. Orders aren't getting finished when I say they're going to be finished. Glass is breaking where it shouldn't be breaking because I'm exhausted, not really paying attention or something. Or when I do ship items, they're getting lost or returned because of some bullshit computer error whatever. I can go on about it, so I'm not going to. But that being said, still, it's made me realize that I need to set up a system. So I did. And it's a system that I've had in my head for a while, and I just had to put it on paper. And if I would have put it on paper a year ago, it probably wouldn't be where it is now in terms of where I am now. I wouldn't be where I am now and feeling stressed out and shitty about my customer service slacking. So the idea is the operation from the time you receive an order or even an inquiry to the moment your customer receives their glass from you. And this is whether, I guess I can't say whether because this really pertains to the glass artist, not really necessarily the retail store. The retail store is a little different. But still, so, Mary Jane hits you up, sends you a kick message. You respond to the kick message. You work out some details on what the order is, something that you may already have in stock or need to make. And then ideally, you should immediately take that information and print it out so you have it on a hard copy on your desk or your bench or in a folder that you can kind of file away, type of thing to organize customers. Just like when you go to the doctor, they have fucking thousands upon thousands of years of files that they have to keep because of HIPAA file regulations and other things. Think about setting yourself up like that. Like imagine if you got yourself set up so well that you had just days worth of files from customers. It'd be amazing. It would be crazy, but it would be amazing because you obviously have your head on your shoulders and you have a system set up. So kind of go from there. I'm going to expand upon a little bit here and there. I'm going to try to keep this quick and simple, but I want to expand upon certain areas. So think about setting up a system for filing, ins and outs, sales, expenditures, whatever. So Mary Jane has her order. She wants XYZ, all in blue. You give her a price. She gives you a deposit or maybe even pays you in full, which sometimes some artists require. I don't. I just require half up front to get the order in line. But once that money is paid, you then create an invoice. And whether you're using a Quicken or like I'm using FreshBooks or some kind of online accounting of some sort, even just a PayPal invoice works too. You get the invoice, get your payment taken care of, and then you print the invoice. So now you have the initial order on paper, handwritten or printed. Now you have also a piece of paper that is the invoice and with a copy on the sale or receipt. And then you need to give your customer an estimated time they're going to be receiving it. And now make it realistic. I tend to do a 2 to 3 week turnaround with my work. But I'm terrible with time management at times and trying to figure things out, especially if it's a new item. So just as a number, I would start telling people it's going to be a month, in all reality. Just that way it gives you a cushion. So if something fucks up, you can remake a new one or something like that, But at least keep your customer in the loop. That's the most important part. If you don't start their piece for 2 weeks after taking money from them, give them a heads up. Say, hey, I'm getting your piece started today. Or, hey, whatever. But if you already have it in stock, this is a whole different conversation if you have the stuff in stock. A total different conversation. But we'll get there eventually. So now you have your piece. You get your order. You get your order started. You make it. Everything comes out perfect. In this process, I like to take pictures of the process. If it's a custom piece or something that is a normal production item, higher end production item, I still will send the customers process pictures, basically, just something I think is fun. I know I enjoy seeing things that I get made for myself, whether it's a drawing or some kind of woodwork or whatever. I enjoy the process, whether it's through a videography type thing or just in person. So send your customer pictures of the process, even if it's just like one or two, starting and an end, whatever. Just gives them, something to look at and see what you're doing. And it also involves them in the process as well. Not necessarily with feedback, but it really lets them feel, and for those of you out there that are customers that have experienced this, let me know if this is true or not, because I from my perspective, I think it is. But really being involved in the process of the creation, not necessarily the full input, but again, just being like there in spirit in a sense. I think it's a really different experience that in a lot of other areas of the world of customization and or production being made, it's really difficult to be a part of it. I could think maybe clothes might be another area. So anyways, so now you have the item made, and now you need to pack it and then ship it. Now, I've been dealing with the post office now for, 16 plus years. I've gone between them and Federal Express and the post office, and then back to UPS, and then back to the post office, and just kind of, the post office seems to be more affordable, but there are many a times where in the past, just recently actually, in the past 3 years, I've had several items just disappear. I don't know if it was at pre-pickup, I just didn't get picked up, or if it was sent somewhere or just got lost. It's just been kind of weird. And even just 2 weeks ago, I had something happen like that. And also then received a package in the mail that was 3 months old due to address change, which I didn't realize, but it took 3 months to get back to me. So that's got to be sent back out now. But that being said, you can set up post office pickup at your house. Just get the express boxes. Only problem with the express boxes is not every box fits everything we make. So we got to think about that. So, it's kind of a pain in the ass. But either way, make sure you pack that sumbitch nice and good, whether it's a shitload of bubble wrap. I find also, just as a side note, that newspaper weighs way more than styrofoam peanuts and or just a shit ton of bubble wrap. Shredded paper, if you have a paper shredder, you can get a real cheap one for like $20 at Office Depot that fits into a bucket or something we use. I think shredded paper is really good. It's a filler. It's lightweight as well compared to like crumpling up newspaper. Newspaper weighs a lot if you guys have just balls of newspaper. So just things to think about with that. But then make sure once you get the tracking information secured and the package is on its way, that you then forward that to your customer and that they know. And then also make sure in that package that if you have stickers or any kind of other little additives that you can use for marketing, not only for yourself, but just as a fun little thank you to your customers, make sure that that's in there as well. Even if some people like doing handwritten notes or drawing on boxes, there's all kind of stuff you can do as an artist individually and customize, your thank you to your customer. So make sure that they then receive a text, email, whatever message you initially started the conversation with. And that being said, when you start a conversation with a customer on one platform, don't move around from one to the next. I've had a couple customers that have gone from like an Instagram DM to a text message or what, it's like back and forth. I'm trying to keep shit in track, and if it's even the same person I'm talking to, because everybody's Instagram names are crazy. So just think about that, stick to one platform, just keep it like it is. And also as a side note for the customer, on your point, to help us out to make our life a little easier in this process too, is that if you're paying through PayPal, to make sure that all of your shipping information is current and up to date. It's very important. Or if you need to have it shipped to another location, make sure you contact the artist immediately upon payment and let them know. That way it can be set up. It's really easy through PayPal to If your address has been confirmed, it takes literally like 2 buttons you got to push and you're done. So just if you guys do end up making payments or are PayPal ready, just make sure all of your shipping information is up to date. Just kind of a side note for the customer. So once your package is shipped, definitely let the customer know again that it's getting shipped, and then keep track of the shipping. I've recently had packages that were being delivered from Florida, that according to tracking went to like Wisconsin, or they've gone to California and then come back to Florida and then been delivered the next day, kind of thing. Like, makes no fucking sense. So, again, keep an eye on that stuff because you just never know. And then once you know your customer has it, say, hey, you should have your package today. Get them pumped up and excited about it, especially if it's taken a month to get it. They got to be pumped up about it because sometimes they lose the fever when after they initially buy it, And then do a follow-up after the fact as well. And then, too, what you can do is ask your customers if they can post a video or a picture of something, to help promote your work on their social feed, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Facebook, not as much. I try to stay away from that more so. I think a lot of people do compared to Instagram. But still, that if you go through that process from order comes in, payments taken, invoices are printed, custom order is made, or production order is made, or the pieces in stock and you have it, you finish it, you pack it really good, you throw in some marketing merchandise as thank yous as well, get the thing packaged up, sealed up, printing label, shipping label, whatever you want to call it, on there with tracking information. Contact your customer throughout the entire process of letting them know. Send them pictures if you can. Once package is shipped, send tracking information, follow up on the tracking, make sure everything's good to go. Once you realize that this package is going to be delivered specifically on a certain day, contact your customer and say, hey, your package will be here today. Let me know what you think when you get it, that everything is good. They open the package, they fucking love it, they use it, say, hey, can you take some pictures or some video of you using your item and throw it on your Instagram for me? That'd be awesome. Make sure you tag me in there, blah, blah, blah. It's if you can go through that process, ideally with every single customer, and if you can do it by setting yourself up to where you're not overbearing and overloading your orders for yourself, to where you can say, hey, I'll have this made on this specific date, and you go from there. It makes a huge difference. And that's the system that I've kind of been thinking about for about a year and a half now. I've implemented about it halfway through, and then it stops. So now it's time for me personally to implement the entire process in a smooth-mannered fashion, because now I'm able to manage my time way better, and that's the biggest point. Time management out of all this. If you can manage your time properly, you can give specific dates and times, or not specific, but I guess more estimations within a couple days of when the item is going to be made and then shipped. That way, if you make a promise or say something specifically in a ballpark area of numbers, you're still able to follow through with that. But make sure that you write it down on a calendar when you're taking the order. Look at your calendar. Make sure you don't have anything made for that day. If you know you have an order coming in from a distributor who's ordering 100 pieces from you, make sure that you know how many days it's going to take you to make that, and have it written on a calendar. Specify the dates and the times even if you want to. It might even make it easier for you, and just stick to that schedule. Pretend you have a fucking job. You got to go clock in and clock into yourself. A lot of these new applications that are out there for time management, hell, my FreshBooks has it. You can go on there and clock in and clock out on this sumbitch. I fucking love it. So just think about that kind of stuff, how you can really manage your time. I'm doing that myself. Will be honest with you guys and transparent. I am the worst person to manage time. I lose track of it. I've always had the attitude, I shouldn't say attitude. I've always had this just kind of silly thing I always say, like how Gandalf always says, he arrived when he was supposed to. That's kind of how I've felt. But at the same time, I want to be on time everywhere I go. I want to follow through on customer requests and dates and times that I say things are going to be shipped by or around this ballpark. I want to do that every single time, if not 99% of the time, because don't get me wrong, we can't be perfect and shit happens. In a perfect world, sure, this is not a perfect world. There's times where your gas runs out that you didn't realize even though you checked it before you started working. Shit happens. But still, set up a system, put it on paper, get a file box, whether you go buy a cheap file cabinet from the frickin' store or like a Goodwill or something like that, probably has them, or just get an egg crate and get a generic filing system you can buy at Office Depot for the egg crate. There's different ways you can do it, but keep track of your customers. write their name at the tab, or write their last name on the tab, or write their Instagram name. Hell, I know most of you guys out there that are customers of mine from your freaking Instagram names. It's so funny. I try and send orders in your real name, and even your invoices that are written, or your payments are written in your Instagram name. So, which I find funny, because I'm mailing packages across town, the country, to like Dab Queen. The post office is like, what the fuck is in here? Kind of thing. Maybe a dildo, I don't know. But still, and Dab Queen out there, if you're listening, I apologize for using the name on here, but there's probably a bunch of you out there. So it's kind of fun just thinking about it, though. So again, and I don't know if I'm just beating myself up too, because I expect more for myself all the time. And when I don't follow through with certain things, I tend to get hard on myself and about it, and almost like in this weird depressed state that takes me like a day or two to shake out of. So tomorrow's and Thursday is going to be a grind on the torch. I'm going to be putting in probably a 36-hour shift, more or less, to wrap up my order that I'm bringing with me to Tobacco Leaf for their big celebration. So, yeah, so there you guys go. I'm going to get off here because it's been 32 minutes. I'll probably edit a bunch of this out of here, crap-wise, that I've mumbled over. So you may have like a 20-minute episode when this is all said and done, which is what I was hoping for. So take this up to heart. Get a pen and paper. Take notes. This is important stuff. It'll help your customer experience in the end, because our customers are the ones that keep us afloat, keep us working, help us build a brand in a sense as well. And if we don't treat them with the utmost respect and with loyalty in a sense, they do the same exact thing to us. It's that whole, you give and you get what you give. So give the best customer service you can, follow through with stuff, don't make promises that you can't keep, and give estimations on times and dates. Don't give specific dates, estimations, estimate, because glass is a pain in the ass, and you just never know. Some shit may go down, and shit goes down, like it's happened to me this past 2 weeks. So there you guys go. Again, don't forget to go to wiseguyradio.com and subscribe to our newsletter. We'll be giving you updates on each show, the newsletter, including some content that's going to be specifically for the newsletter, the exclusive content term. Also, we're going to be starting to promote the Build Your Own Wise Guy site, so stay tuned for that, all you artists and smoke shops out there. We want to change the way the industry sells glass and buys glass for the good and benefit of everybody. So, yeah, big plans. I've got big dreams. So stay tuned for that. And also, don't forget you guys can go to audibletrial.com. That's audible, AUDIBLE, trial.com /WiseGuyRadio. And you can go on there and sign up for a free 30-day trial. And then in 30 days, you have access to 180,000 plus titles, whether it's magazines, books, lots of publications on there, how-tos, how-dos, and who do you do. And yeah, that makes no sense. So anything else, go to iTunes.com or go to your iTunes store, search Wise Guy Radio Show, or just put in Wise Guy Radio. It'll come up. Subscribe to the show. It'll make it download. Every time the show is posted, you'll have it automatically downloaded into your drop file there. And then you can just delete the show after the fact, so it doesn't hold up your memory that you have on your phone or your iPad or your MacBook or whatever it is that you're using for that. And then also for all you Droid lovers out there, there's Stitcher, STITCHER. You can just go to Stitcher app on your app store, the Google App Store there on the Droid systems. You can also go to wiseguyradio.com and listen to some of the shows, not all of them, but some of them. We will have all of them up very soon. Actually, as they're posted, we're just getting someone else brought on. So now we have an assistant for my IT guy. So now we're going to really be kicking ass there. Let's see, what else? Yeah, the Twitters, at jmichaelglass, just like my Instagram. Facebook.com /WiseGuyRadio. And then again, don't forget, if you sign up for and follow our Twitter, you'll be able to have updates for the Periscope, or if you just go and sign up on Periscope and follow us, you'll get them there too. And the Periscope is Wise Guy Radio. So, once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is J. Michael, your host, and it is an honor and a privilege to be able to do this 3 days a week for you guys, and I hope this helps you guys and gals, artists or smoke shop owners, or just working in the retail space there in this industry, or just in glass in general, whether you're behind a furnace. This is all for you guys. I love you all so much, and thank you again for tuning in. We will see you guys soon, and we'll be live from Tobacco Leaf on Friday, September 25th. Y'all take care. See ya. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show. If you have any questions, comments, or remarks, please leave them in the show notes page area where it says comments. We'll see you soon. Have a wise night.